Today, I want to talk about the quiet ones, the people who don't know the scores, the people who don't follow the matches, the people who may not even know which teams are playing. During events like the World Cup, it can sometimes feel as if the entire world is paying attention to the same thing. Conversations revolve around the games. Social media fills with highlights. Friends gather to watch matches. Entire cities seem to share the same excitement. And yet, there are always people standing outside of it all. Not because they are trying to be different, not because they think they are better than anyone else, but simply because their attention is naturally drawn elsewhere. Perhaps they are reading, perhaps they are painting, perhaps they are tending a garden, perhaps they are walking quietly through nature, perhaps they are working on something meaningful that few people will ever see. And while the crowd looks in one direction, they are looking somewhere else. I think this experience is more common than many people realize, because human beings are not all nourished by the same things. Some people feel energized by collective experiences. They enjoy being part of something larger. They love the excitement of shared moments, the feeling of celebrating together, the feeling of belonging to a group. And there is nothing wrong with that. In fact, it is a beautiful part of being human. Unfortunately, society often misunderstands this. There is sometimes an assumption that if you do not participate in what everyone else is doing, you must be missing out, that you must be disconnected or isolated or uninterested in life. But perhaps that is not true at all. Perhaps some people simply connect differently. Perhaps some people do not find meaning in crowds. They find meaning in stillness. They do not find inspiration in stadiums. They find inspiration in forests, or books, or music, or art, or conversations with one trusted friend, or even in silence itself. I think many quiet people spend years wondering if something is wrong with them, especially when they see everyone around them excited about the same thing. They ask themselves, why don't I feel what everyone else seems to feel? Why am I not interested? Why would I rather stay home? But maybe the question is not whether something is wrong. Maybe the question is whether we have learned to honor our own nature. Because not everyone is designed to move toward the crowd. Some people are designed to observe. Some are designed to create. Some are designed to explore ideas. Some are designed to walk a path that is less visible. And these paths are no less valuable. In fact, many of humanity's greatest contributions emerged from people who spend significant time outside the crowd. Writers, artists, inventors, philosophers, scientists, mystics. Many of them were paying attention to something different from what everyone else was watching, while others were focused on the immediate excitement of the moment. They were quietly exploring something deeper, something longer lasting, something invisible. There's another thing I find interesting. The crowd often changes direction. One day, everyone talks about one thing. The next day, it is something else. Then something else again. The collective attention moves constantly. But the quiet person is often guided by something different: curiosity, meaning, purpose, wonder. Their attention is not pulled by what is popular. It is pulled by what feels alive to them, and I think there is something deeply authentic about that. Of course, there can be challenges. Walking a different path can sometimes feel lonely, especially when it seems as though everyone around you is sharing an experience that you do not understand. But perhaps loneliness is not always a sign that you are on the wrong path. Sometimes it is simply the price of listening to your own inner voice. And there is an important difference between isolation and individuality. Isolation disconnects us from life. Individuality allows us to participate in life in our own way. The quiet person is not necessarily disconnected. They may simply be connected to different things. While others are watching a match, they may be noticing the changing colors of the sky. While others are discussing scores, they may be writing a poem. While others are celebrating a victory, they may be caring for a small garden. And none of these experiences are inherently more meaningful than the others. They are simply different expressions of what it means to be human. Perhaps maturity is realizing that there is more than one way to belong. Some people belong in crowds, some belong in communities, some belong in creative spaces, some belong in nature, and some belong nowhere in particular except in the quiet company of their own soul. The goal is not to follow the crowd, nor is it to reject the crowd. The goal is to understand yourself well enough to know where your spirit feels most alive. Yeah, because the world does not need everyone to look in the same direction. The world needs diversity, different perspectives, different ways of seeing, different ways of being. And perhaps the quiet ones serve an important purpose. While the crowd reminds us of connection, the quiet ones remind us of reflection. While the crowd reminds us of belonging, the quiet ones remind us of authenticity, and both are necessary. So if you happen to be one of those people who does not care much about the World Cup, or whatever the world happens to be excited about today, perhaps there is nothing wrong with you. Perhaps your attention is simply being called somewhere else, and perhaps that place deserves your attention too. Before we go, I'd like to thank everyone who has chosen to spend a few moments of their day here. Whether you've been here since the beginning or you've just discovered this channel, I'm grateful for your presence. If you'd like to support the channel, subscribing, liking the video, or sharing it with someone who might enjoy it is always appreciated. And if today's reflection spoke to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for being here. And until next time, take good care of yourself.